Hey guys, hope you're doing well, and today I wanted to go over an article that I saw, and a pretty big news headline, but I think it's something that a lot of people in this space, in the cryptocurrency space, and investing in general kind of overlook, right? And that is this article right here. New York regulator approves Winklevi Paxos dollar-linked coin tokens, okay? So, Gemini, which is run by the Winklevi twins, and then Paxos Trust, both are releasing official US dollar-backed tokens that are approved by New York regulators, okay? And this is very, very big news, okay? And I think it's big news for a lot of reasons that people don't really understand, because they don't understand where some of the technology is going, or even where it's very close to, and what it really means, okay? So we have Tether right now, right? And Tether is very useful for traders mostly, right? Because you can take profits in Tether. So if you're trading coins on Binance, you want to lock in profits, or you're on Bitfinex or something like that, you're in margin trading, and you want to take profits, it's very easy for traders to catch up to Tether, right? But a lot of long-term holders, right, we don't really hold Tether, right? Because there's some problems with it, right? We don't really want to hold the dollar long-term, obviously. But also, like, Tether's not very trustworthy, in my opinion. If you really look into Tether and who runs Tether, it's not audited, so it's not being proved that they actually have the US dollars in the bank account for the tokens that they say that they do. The companies that run Tether are very shady, in my opinion. And I don't trust Tether, right? I would never keep a substantial amount of money in Tether. I think people that keep a large amount of money in Tether are insane, because at any minute your money could disappear, so I think it's crazy. I mean, if I was a trader, I would use Tether, because, if you're a day trader and you're taking profits, on a day-to-day basis, it's not a big deal, because, only part of your capital is short-term trading anyway, and you're taking the money that you earn, you probably turn it into real dollars, or you're trading into Bitcoin or whatever asset you want to, right? You're not going to hold a lot of Tether. You're just using that as an intermediary to take profits, okay? Because it's stable, because it's the dollar. It's stable compared to the cryptocurrencies short term, right? But long term, I don't think Tether will be around. It's very shady in my opinion. And also, Tether is not approved by the U.S. government. It's it's basically illegal. It's not an accredited sort of thing that's being audited, and it's not secure in any way, right? And it's very important to realize that it's not being regulated at all, and it's not approved by the U.S. government. So really, Tether is breaking the law, counterfeit laws, and all that sort of stuff. But now that we have legit tokens that are backed by the U.S. government, these are approved by the New York Regulatory Commission, okay, that this is a huge use case, right? Not only for traders, so the number one use case I would say, well, not number one, but one of the use cases I would say is as a replacement of Tether for traders, right? So a lot of traders that want to hold US dollars in a token form that they can put on a hardware wallet or something like that, but they don't trust Tether, well, guess what? Now you can use these that are approved by the United States government, and you can put them on your hardware wallet. They're fully redeemable for certified, audited US dollars that you can redeem at any time. So that's huge, right? And that's probably the one that most people look at, right? But here's a couple things that people don't realize, is that with a backed token, right, you can not only do things like micropayments and stuff like that, but think of it as this, okay? Think of it this way. So many people run online, there's lots of online merchants, right? Or even in person, right? When you swipe your debit card or credit card at any business, online or in person, that merchant has to incur a fee from the credit card company, from Visa or MasterCard or whatever, right? So they usually charge like 2.5% to 3%. So, and the merchant has to eat that cost, right? So every time a customer comes in and swipes their card, 3% of the transaction, or it's less if it's a big amount, right? But still, it's a significant amount of their profit margin gets eaten into, right, by basically payment processing costs, right? Which generally range around 2.5% to 3%. Well, if you have the Lightning Network and you have some of these new things coming out, like Plasma and stuff like that, where as a business owner, you can accept crypto US dollars for much less money, right? If I'm sending you Ethereum tokens that represent US dollars instead of swiping my card, it's much cheaper, especially when using things like the Lightning Network, or on Ethereum it's called Raiden, okay? But they'll also be building these things on Plasma and other off-chain scaling methods, okay? And so as a business owner, I'd rather accept certified US dollar tokens, and I don't get paid, I don't get, the fees. Okay, instead, the consumer that's buying the product has to pay the fee, whatever the transaction fee is. Hopefully with Lightning Network and stuff, that would be very, very cheap. Okay, that's a huge use case. That changes the business model of Visa and MasterCard, right? Because if all of a sudden we have a US dollar-backed approved Ethereum token, and you build out protocols that can send those for very, very cheap, which is right around the corner, that puts the business model of Visa and MasterCard out of business. And that's why we're seeing Visa and MasterCard have patents. That's why they're making patents for these Lightning Network-based cards, because they know these are not, these are big companies. They're not stupid. They know that with what's happening in the crypto sphere, that their business model is getting eradicated, and they have to adapt or they'll die. Okay, so it's very, very big, because you have to realize that the blockchain is a more efficient exchange of value. Period. It doesn't have to be Bitcoin or Litecoin or Digibyte or any of these tokens, right? It can be coins that are backed by gold or the US dollar or silver or any asset, and it puts that business model out of business because it's more efficient. Okay, and so this is huge, right? And it further entwines the crypto currency, cryptocurrency platforms into the old system, right? It's further integrating the new system and the old, okay? And that's what's happening. We're seeing a fusion of old and new systems as money goes from the old fiat system into the new cryptocurrency system, okay? This is a very, very big part of that. Also, you guys, online tipping, right? With the Lightning Network and some micropayments, you can now tip with dollar tokens, right? So maybe I don't want to tip someone a fraction of a Bitcoin. I want to tip them 5 cents of US dollar token. Now you can tip them online, right? And you can send these tokens to a friend. They're fully redeemable for US dollars. You can store them on your hardware wallet. So if Bitcoin goes to another big bull run and I want to cash out into dollars, but I want to put it in my bank account, I can literally store $1 million worth of US dollars on my hardware wallet. I've literally become my own bank, not even with cryptocurrencies and stuff like that, but also with dollars. On my little hardware wallet bank, I can store Bitcoin, I store Litecoin. Like companies like Veritasium and Digix now have gold-backed tokens. I can put gold tokens on it. We're seeing the amplification of all asset classes. So with my smartphone or my hardware wallet, I can hold any asset class. I can hold fiat currencies, I can hold cryptocurrencies, I can hold precious metals. Soon we'll see the tokenization of real estate. And this is really, really big, that the fact that they've approved this. It's going to add a lot more liquidity to the whole cryptocurrency market, right? It's more efficient. Even if cryptocurrencies don't take off, right? Even if Bitcoin doesn't do well and all this other stuff, these stable tokens are still more efficient than the current dollar system we have, right? Because if I have $1 million worth of stable these tokens, I can send them to someone in China in 5 seconds, right? For way cheaper than using a wire, right? Doing international wires is a nightmare. Try sending a wire to someone in India with an Indian bank, right? And then calling up Chase telling you want to wire that. It takes weeks sometimes. The fees are ridiculous. Now, I feel like, hey, you want some dollars? And I send them Ethereum-backed, fully audited, approved US dollar tokens. Okay? It's huge, massive use case. You guys, this is huge. And we're having so much bullish news along with the BAKKT, New York Stock Exchange, the BACT, or however you want to say it, the ICE exchange, that are doing fully Bitcoin-backed, basically derivatives or futures. We have the NASDAQ Technology Exchange, the DX Exchange, which is built on NASDAQ technology at the end of November coming out. We have ETF decision coming up. There's so much bullish news, you guys. And but yeah, I really want to share this with you guys, and because I think many people overlook the use case of these fiat tokens. All right. So that's it. I'll catch you guys later, and keep accumulating. All right, bye.